Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we're going to take a look at Chapter 68 of Kaiju number 8. There is a lot in this chapter. Now, this will be the spoiler review section, and there's a couple of things outside of the manga I want to get, so they're not spoilers for the manga itself, but as of August 4th, or August 5th in Japan, rather, it is formally announced we are going to get an anime. Now, this is surprising to no one at this point, with Kaiju number 8 being the breakout success that it is. It's, again, just not at all surprising that it's getting an anime. It is a little surprising that it's being announced at Chapter 68. Usually, Shonen Jump likes to wait until Chapter 100, so you have plenty of story arcs to animate, so that the anime doesn't take over the manga too fast, and then you have cases in the past where the anime has had to go in side directions and try to provide enough filler to keep the animated story going and not overtake the manga, which in some cases it has. Now with with stories like Dragon Ball Z, it was always fairly easy for the anime to just send all the characters on a side quest that doesn't affect the main storyline. But for other more mature storylines, I haven't seen it personally because I've never watched the anime for The Promised Neverland, but I've heard that the anime went kind of sideways from the manga and it caused some dissonance there. But anyway, one thing that I am fairly pleased about is that the announcement for the anime did not actually contain any animation. It was absolute zero animation. It was all still framed, what actually looked like photographs of downtown Tokyo with the occasional Kaiju Japanese Defense Force poster thrown in. So I think those were actual photographs of the advertisement locations for Kaiju number 8. So they haven't animated anything yet. They didn't announce the studio, so they might actually be holding off on starting animation until the 100th chapter, so the stories don't get misaligned, which is kind of what I'm hoping. I know we all want the anime as soon as possible, but I'm definitely in the camp of wait, keep the stories in alignment to make sure there's we don't have to deal with any cognitive dissonance between the anime story and the manga story. So hopefully they're not going to start animating too soon. Now, this chapter, it was fantastic. It just slaps you in the face with plot twists and revelations. This was a very meaty, heavy chapter story-wise, and it is presaging another month-long waiting period while the story gets itself in alignment. I'm sure there's also going to be a lot of other busy work in Matsumoto's life right now, getting ready for the anime adaptation, this and that and the other. So we can all see why they're taking a month off, which really means we're only going to miss one chapter. And again, this always precedes, well, so far in the story, these breaks have always preceded not a jump in quality, but certainly a chapter and story arc of super high quality. So again, I don't like that we're not getting a chapter in the next 2-week schedule, but I can look forward to really just tearing apart this chapter. Now, without giving any spoilers, the final scenes in this chapter did essentially kill off one of my favorite pet theories, and I'm very sad about that, at the loss of seeing a potential character in the future. And I've done a lot of theories on this. There are no spoilers for this chapter, I suppose, but I've done many videos on the possibility that Hikaru Shinomiya is still alive in some sense, trapped in one of Kaiju number 9's body, but that was all presaged on the fact that we've never seen her body. And while we still haven't seen her body, one of the end scenes at this chapter does give inadvertently, kind of in a sideways way, gives us backstory that, yeah, the Defense Force probably did get her body back at the end of the battle with Kaiju number 6. So, without giving any spoilers for Chapter 68, I think I can say that theory is officially dead, and I'm very, very sad and sorry to see it go, but that's life, that's the story, that's the way the manga rolls. So Matsumoto just starts off this story with a slap to the face. The title page is just a really, really great piece of art, which shows fascinating contrast between brutality in the sense of the animal, something very animalistic, contrasted with a very thoughtful, pensive, inward stare. And there's a sense of combat. There's a little flex in the background that suggests a battle, but there's also a sense of physical peace, so inner combat. And then we get a revelation about what a character has been doing all this time that is just wham, right in the feels and right in the plot. Then we get a mirror of that next page, of that first page in the following page, that shows the inner combat, more activity in the physical level and therefore less activity in the mental level. And then we see the consequences of that introduction. And I'm looking at this and I'm seeing two very distinct different possibilities. Is the following actions that we see on pages, essentially pages 6 through pages 17, so well over half. Okay, so there's 31. Okay, so there's 29 pages in this chapter. A nice thick meaty chapter to see us off before the break. And let's see, 6 to 17, a good third of the story is dedicated to these actions. And I really have to wonder, are these the actions of an antagonist or a protagonist? Because it might be the good guys doing this for one reason, and it might be the bad guy doing it for the opposite reason. But either way, it's really driving the story forward. Then this chapter shifts over to how the Defense Force is reacting to these actions. And we get a look at the thought processes that are going on. We sort of briefly touch in with what all of our favorite characters have been doing. And then we come to the final 1, 2, 3 pages. On the final 3 pages, we have the interaction that really killed my theory that we'd be getting to see a live Hikari Shinomiya currently in the timeline. So, rip to that theory. It was a fun theory while it lasted, but I'm pretty sure that this chapter lays that theory to rest. So, what do you think? Is there any chance that we'll be seeing Hikari Shinomiya in the story after this? Leave your comments below. What do you think was the most interesting part of this chapter? Was it the revelation of who's alive and who's dead? Was it the suggestion that these actions taken throughout Japan might not have been intentional, or that their revelation might not have been intentional on the antagonist's part? What do you think was the most interesting part of this chapter? Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment below telling me what you think. I really love to hear your theories. And peace out, my wonderful viewers. Humans are weird. We took a vote, and humans are weird. I have the data. 2 books in a series of human absurdity. Go check out these short story collections. What will our little green friends think of us when we finally do make it to space? Find out the answer in 2 books of human absurdity. Humans are weird, we took a vote, and humans are weird, I have the data. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Google Play.